What's up guys, Aidan here, coming at you with a new updated Majespector profile for the 2020 April ban list. This is one of the few Pendulum decks that actually came out of the past two ban lists we've gotten unscathed. They didn't really use Electromite, they didn't really use Endymion much, so the fact that they can set up a board with multiple disruptions on back row, and then also built-in protection on the monsters is really good for a deck that hasn't really seen much play in the past few years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into the profile. So starting out the monster lineup, I'm running 3 QB. Probably the best normal summon in the deck right beside Bunbuku turn 1, just because it gets you to any of your Majespector traps. So you can get Tempest, you can get Tornado with this. It's also the main beat stick, funny enough, because you'll be using the Quick Play spell to boost its attack to 3k. And if it means anything to you Pendulum variants out there, it's a 2 scale, so pretty low. Then next up, I'm running 2 Ogama. One of the high scales in the deck. Don't really Pendulum summon a whole lot in this specific build, but Ogama is pretty good in the fact that it can set either a spell or trap from deck. The only downside to that is that you can't activate it the turn that you set it. Then I'm running 2 Yada. Yada just searches a spell, probably one of the worst of the level 4s in the deck, but if you're looking for trying to get damage on board, you're trying to shut games out, Yada is probably the way to go. So, 2 Yada, and 3 Bunbuku. Other best normal summon in the deck, because it searches out a monster. You can actually use this if your hand is looking a little desperate. You can use this to search out a scale so that you can Pendulum summon an extra and then just kind of go from there. To Nekomata. Nekomata is without a doubt the worst summon in the deck, just because searching on end phase is too slow in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! So, but it does have a fair bit of defense. Then I'm running the Wind Witch package. In MR5 you can make Crystal Wing in your main monster zone, so it doesn't really change a whole lot for the deck, but it is nice to be able to keep the extra monster zone free for your Pendulum summon. So, then run 2 Glass Bell. Search a Snowbell. If your hand is really bad, you can also search for the Ice Bell and kind of prepare for your next turn. Then I'm running 2 of the Snowbell. Since your entire main deck is wind, you'll probably be, even if you hard draw this, it's not a brick, you'll be able to at least make things like Chanbara or Hastor. Moving on to the spells, I am running 2 Majesty's Pegasus. Unclogs hands. It can get you multiple monsters on board. If you need to, you can tribute the Wind Witch monsters to use this effect. So then I'm running 1 Secret Village. Spell hate. You don't want them to resolve things like Twisters or Lightning Storm. Then I'm running 3 Spice. Ties of the Brethren. You use this to be able to get more Majespecters on your board. You can actually use this on the Wind Witches as well to summon Majespecters from main deck. So typically what you can do is if you open a Wind Witch, a Majespector, and this card, you can end on Crystal Wing and then 3 Majespecters with 3 back row. So it's pretty good. Then I'm running 2 Ignite Reload, probably the best draw spell in the deck, just because it unclogs hands, fixes hands, it's a +0, so you know, you're just kind of thinning through your deck. You can play Extravagance if you really want to. I just didn't want to dump the money into Extravagances when this gets the exact same result, if not better. Then 2 Majespector Sonics. Just boost your attack That's really all it's used for. You don't want your little buddies to die. So then one Cyclone, because if I'm running the Yadas, I don't want Sonics to be the only spell I search. I at least want to have Cyclone in there for being able to disrupt on my opponent's turn. Then I run one Terraforming for the field onto the traps. I am running triple Judgment. If you're not running Judgment, you're going to have a very difficult time getting through any spell or trap, just any kind of spell or trap, because this deck doesn't really have any spell and trap removal or negation. So, then 2 Lost Wind, kind of just an extra copy of the booster, just because you don't want to lose in damage calc. Also, it can negate something, so it's pretty good. Then Majespecter Tornado, searchable with QB, Ogama, kind of searchable with Bunbuku. You just search QB and then search, good stuff. You can also search any of these cards off of Nekomata, but like I said, it's too slow to actually matter. So, then 2 Tempest. Negates a monster special summon or a monster effect. Really good. Then one of my personal techs, I'm running 2 Miyabi. You just target a card your opponent controls, put it on the bottom of the deck by attributing a wind monster. Any wind monster, doesn't have to be a spellcaster. Moving on to the monsters, I'm running a single Crystal Wing. You only need one. You're only going to make one. Odds are, when you make him, you're probably going to win that game unless your opponent's playing, I don't know, Kaijus or something in main deck, which, let's be real, nobody's got those in main deck, aside from maybe Crusadia, so. Against Crusadia, all you need to do is negate their normal summon, they're dead, so. 1 Stardust Dragon. Another solid copy, or another solid option for the side deck is Starlight Road, just because Stardust Dragon can negate things like Twin Twisters and, being able to Starlight Road the Twin Twisters or the Lightning Storm or things of that nature, and then summoning out your Stardust Dragon to a main monster zone. Having this and Crystal Wing on board is really good. Clear Wing. Kind of mandatory. If you're unable to make the Crystal Wing, this is probably going to be your next best bet. You can also make him late game, so. Clear Wing Fast Dragon. Same thing as Crystal or Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, easy to make, just pretty good overall. Winter Bell, this gets a lot better in games 2 and 3, where you're going to want that burn damage in order to close out the games a lot easier. But this is also typically the one that you're going to go turn 1, just so you can get that damage on board and just kind of use it as synchro material, since you want to kind of keep the other ones in the extra deck. 1 Dawn Dragster, because back row matchups are a grind fest, so you want to kind of make it as less grindy as possible for you. 1 Shinbara, close out games, pretty easy. 1 Hastor, essentially what he is he's just disruption. If your opponent has a monster that you really need to get through, you can use him, crash, or just kill itself, and then use its effect, attach it, and then you can go from there. Yeah, it's a pretty solid option. As for the XYZs, I'm running Tornado Dragon, back row hate. It's also a wind, so even if you get locked into winds for some reason, you can still make him. Lightning Chidori, pretty good. It's just a spot removal for 2 cards, so. Castel, another spot removal. If your opponent has a monster that you really don't like, you can either book it or shuffle it back. Mandatory Dweller, because Dweller is quite literally too good not to run. Baguska, for when you want to stall out games and accumulate that advantage before you attempt to go in for the kill. Nightmare Shark, it can just attack directly for 2k, pretty good. Then 1 Great Fly for the attack boost, and if you need the arrows for pendulum summoning, you can use those, but, you know, yeah, pretty solid.